Yeah, okay, my bad. You know, those mountains could be that could be Colorado just across the border, and the train is going north and south. Well, no one knows what I'm talking about because they can't see the Nebraska flag. But
Yeah. Oh, we're in. We're in. Okay. Let's hope
okay,
let's hope everybody's game doesn't crash. I'm not gonna say we're ready just yet.
I knocked on some wood, so
Not
that'll
actually
fix
need
our
wood close to me.
jinxes.
Guess my floor is made of wood.
Hmm.
Guess that
Everything
helps.
seems to be in order.
Yep. Okay. I loaded
You have
in.
the UI, right?
I do have the UI. I planned that out like
Oh wow,
two
nice,
hours ago.
nice job.
Yeah. Oh, I even have the donation bar. Um,
Well, you know, not
and the
everyone's
donation bar
perfect.
covers something, but all right. I'm gonna move
Okay,
these
it looks like we
donations.
are
Uh-oh.
finally starting. We do have King Richard the fourth. I'm guessing, although that's not the correct Roman numeral.
It is not.
In the color red, playing Spain, and then are you pronouncing this Hidalgito? Is that right?
Yeah, I say Hidalgito.
Hidalgito. Uh, Also in the color blue, playing Portuguese.
Yep. This is the round of 96, actually. Um, these two players playing around, I guess, first lieutenant captain level. Um, should be an interesting series.
Yep.
Of course, the first map is Indonesia, which is always going to make for some interesting games. Um, a lot of different things going on this map. We got this Marathan catamaran, which can be used for scouting a little bit, as well as to do some fishing early on. You start with one of these buildings. I believe it's always going to be a saloon for the European civs. And of course, then there's just a massive amount of water surrounding the map, and no trading posts. So it tends to create these extremely long 30-minute games where both players go for water. But in this case, because King Richard is playing the Spanish, I don't think we're necessarily going to be seeing that.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what he goes for. Of course, both players do start with the saloon, which can be sort of add to interesting strategic dynamics. There are Swiss pikemen, and there's the H3 mercenary, so I could feel like that could come into play for King Richard's build order if he does send something like the Spanish gold card, which, never mind, he doesn't have in his deck. So um, I feel like that'd be a good card to have, nonetheless.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can see actually a little bit of divergence between these two decks. You can see Hidalgito has the full like water deck that you'd expect out
Oh
of
yeah,
on this map. All those cards that improve water. Not a lot of military shipments, except for the boats.
and
King
yeah,
Richard, yeah.
and King Richard
Meanwhile,
just has nothing water going on at all. So honestly, I mean, just by the deck choice, I feel like you need to at least try to contest water here.
yeah,
So I feel like if Hidalgito plays his cards right, he could have a game, you know, go into his favor with the extended water play.
yeah,
And they're in the Explorer here.
yeah. Oh, yeah, really good actually from him. I want to check who got that treasure. Yeah, Hidalgito has gotten three treasures so far, especially the 35 wood and 90 food, which are, the map doesn't have very good treasures, so for the map, those are very good. And also getting the Explorer, Spanish Explorer is actually very important to keep up. The dog is nowhere nearby. I think Hidalgito is going to get the Explorer down, or at least bring it extremely low on hit points. And then from there, he's going
I
to
think he
have,
will too.
yeah, he's going to have a pretty good age one.
Yeah, definitely. You know, nice play by him. And what I also like is he's using his catamaran here to actually scout the water and maybe look for potential treasures. Whereas King Richard is just fishing. And I'm not sure on the exact gather rate on these catamarans, but I'm quite positive it's astronomically slow. Like, it's
Yeah,
just really bad.
yeah,
So I think scouting is definitely kind of the way to go.
yeah.
So I really like his age one.
Yeah, so I'm not sure like when King Richard remembered to start that catamaran on the fishing. I know I usually forget until a couple minutes in, but it's gotten about 40 food so
Yeah, I'm
far.
not sure
So
either.
in 3 minutes you get 40 food. It's not that great. Um, but
Right.
it does add a little bit, right? He's going to be maybe aging up a little bit earlier, and since he is going for this very very aggressive play, I think it's important to do so. It looks like
I think so too.
yeah, it looks like King Richard did lose his explorer, but not before he didn't make another dog. So actually, Hidalgito is in a little bit of danger of losing his own explorer.
Right. It looks like he's going to get back to the town center. Oh, and he pulls back the two dogs.
Yeah,
So, nice play by Hidalgito. He actually forces him to make that other dog and still kills the enemy explorer and keeps his own.
Yeah, he's
Pretty
going to be aging
nice.
up pretty much just a little bit behind King Richard, which on a 14 villager age up, I guess is pretty. Actually, no, is it a 14? It might be. Yeah, it is a 14.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
14 standard.
yeah, I was trying to decide if the catamaran is counted as population, but I believe it is not. So yeah, 14 villager age up with a market, and then he's going to get that extra town center, which I'm interested to know if he goes for sort of putting it over here, or if he tries to put it a little bit closer. If he puts it close to his base, close to his first town center, I think he'll be relatively well protected against what King Richard is trying to do, which is probably going to be a very aggressive Spanish FF.
Right, and we've even seen players, I believe Sampu put his second TC down here one game as well.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
also, I didn't see the politician that King Richard is aging up with, but if it is that tower, he has the potential to place it on an island as well.
true.
And I'm
Yeah.
guessing it's the tower.
Oh yeah, it's almost.
Yep,
Yeah,
and there it is.
Yeah. No surprise
And
there.
so,
I guess he's going to be
yeah,
moving it aggressively. Um,
that's what I'm assuming. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to go, well, now it's kind of spinning towards the water. We'll see if he moves his catamaran.
Yeah. Okay, so he's putting it right down next to his market. That is
Oh,
a little bit tricky. I get what he's going for. He's going to put it near the water to defend against something, but it's actually a little bit far away from the water. It doesn't really seem to be.
it is.
Um,
It kind of corrals his hunt in.
yeah.
Also, he's going to pick up these two cows, which is nice. But yeah, I'm not the largest fan of this outpost placement. I think either go mid-map and try to secure some map control, or try to place it closer to the coast.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Hidalgito is putting down two docks across the
Oh,
water. So those are actually going to be extremely difficult to siege down. Putting this town center right here, interesting decision actually, because it doesn't give covering fire with the other town center, which does make it a little bit
no,
exposed.
I think he placed it just purely based on that hunt.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
and like we said, maybe on this map you need to approach town center placement with a little more emphasis on potential water play.
Right.
But we'll see how it plays out in the game.
Yeah. In this case, Hidalgito is in a little bit of danger of actually losing his villager right here to these
Oh
two
yeah, and the
dogs.
second dog came in.
Yeah.
I think that's
I think it's
oh,
going to
it's
be okay. It was going to be a close one. I think he pulled off just in
yeah.
time. Yeah, that could have
Yeah, I
been
almost would
really
have thought.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I probably would have lost it because I probably would have just kept it there, thinking the town center would go up in time. And it
Uh,
definitely is not.
yeah. Yeah, so those two dogs getting a little bit of compensation. They weakened the villager a lot and pulled it off the hunt. Definitely didn't pay for the dog just yet, but
Right. So something important to note is King Richard is already up to the third age. He shipped 700 wood next as his standard, I believe, to get his infrastructure up.
yep.
So it looks like he is going to go for some sort of relatively quick fortress timing. However, it's going to be definitely slowed down by the defensive placement of this outpost. We'll see how Hidalgito chooses to approach this.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be starting off with a stable, which normally is not a bad idea as Portuguese. The problem is that if you look at King Richard's deck, he's got the 12 and 10 pike shipments. Interestingly, no Rodoleros, but nevertheless, there's a lot of pikemen coming out. And I think it'll be a little bit tricky to break through the falconets with just a few hussar.
Right. And I mean, right now, the stable is his only military building. He's going to, I mean, he scouted that, well, I guess King Richard hasn't aged up yet, but he should know that some sort of pressure is coming. And in my opinion, you really need musketeers, a massive musketeers versus the Spanish FF if you're going to stay age 2. So I'd really kind of like to see him slam down a couple barracks and just spam musketeers. But
Oh, definitely, yeah. You can see even now, King Richard has made 5 pikemen. Doesn't have more
oh
pikemen in
yeah,
the queue, but even so, he's got 5 pikemen. He did get the explorer, so Hidalgito knows this is
he's going
coming.
for
But I think,
he's going
yeah,
to go for pure siege.
yeah, which kind of makes sense, right? I mean, this town center is
Right.
very exposed. It's not going to be able to get covered by the other town center. This town center is going to go down pretty quickly unless King Richard is able, or sorry, if Hidalgito is able to find somewhere to defend it.
Right, and it almost looks like Hidalgito is macroing the age up, which I don't think is the right play because it's way too late at this point. I think you just need to stay age 2, and he definitely has a superior eco, so there's no reason why, if he doesn't spam out units ASAP right now, that he can't pull out of this ahead.
Yeah, looked like King Richard actually aged up with 8 pikemen instead of the 4 hussars that I was expecting, and he is going to be going for the veteran upgrade for the pikemen. So
Yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense.
So
He's
I'm guessing,
going.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're going to see another
this
12
is a
pikemen
pretty.
coming out pretty soon. And
Yeah,
yeah,
this
it's
is a
very
pretty
nice.
all-in rush. Oh,
Yeah.
1,000 wood.
Oh,
Never
interesting.
mind. That is much
Okay.
less all-in than I thought.
I guess. Interesting. So he sent 700 wood. He got that 90 wood treasure a little bit earlier. But now that pikemen cost wood, I think all the wood calculations get thrown out just to be able to compute what you need. So he is going to
Right.
be Hidalgito is going to be aging up, and I think he'll be
Okay.
safe because there's only 13 pikemen instead of the 25 that we were kind of expecting.
Right, and Spain could even have 2 Falcons almost at his door at this point. So, it appears to be the right choice for him to do. And I want to see where he places his third town center. I wouldn't even mind it just going right here to secure this mine and that
Oh,
hunt. And I
absolutely,
think
yeah, and
that's
that's where it's
exactly
going.
what he does.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of like this. Um, Although maybe you'd think it'd be nice for ports to have a town center on an island at this point as well. And
Yeah.
those pikemen are unfortunately going the wrong way. They won't be able to spot this town center before it goes up.
Yeah, it looks like King Richard is just going right into the main base. There still might
Yeah,
be a good timing here, but we do have to note that the Colonial Militia card has been sent out. Perhaps
oh,
perhaps prematurely, but even so, it is sent out, and I think Hidalgito, he's going to
well,
have enough
it's gonna
resources.
save him right here.
Yeah,
I mean, he loses this town center if he doesn't have. Well, he might not lose it. Right, a batch of goons and regular Minutemen maybe hold it, but he only gets 2 goons out, and I think he might just call Colonial Militia. Yep, and there
yeah,
it is.
Colonial Militia.
That's actually really huge. That's gonna kind of clean up these pikes, and it's not even scouted yet.
Oh,
Or
absolutely,
if
yeah.
it is, he's just gonna keep sieging and
Yeah, what's more
yeah.
is that
So
even if
and
he did lose
2
this town
Falcons.
center, it wouldn't be that much of a problem. He's got
No,
3
and
of them at
especially the
this point.
trade he's getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks GG. I mean, these Falcons are popping up, but what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, they're still shooting the town center.
Yeah,
That's gonna
there's
stay up.
a small possibility that the town center goes down. I wouldn't be too surprised. We are getting a little bit of lag here, but it's not immediately.
He still has regular
clear.
Minutemen call
Yeah.
as well. Oh shoot!
Yeah.
It might actually go down.
It is going to go down, I think, but he is going to get these 2 falconets, and he's got. He doesn't even have 2 town centers. He has 5 because of these stocks, so it doesn't really matter,
Yeah.
right?
No, not at all. He's now meleeing these pikes. That's pretty funny. I'll just put it in range mode. Those pikes, they're just slaying them down. It's like a
interesting-
fantasy
yeah.
genre protagonist just going ham. But I mean, okay, if we look at the recalculated economic populations, 55 to 23, and the militaries have just been reset to 0.
Yeah.
This is looking to be in great favor of the Hidalgito, and I believe he's a bit of the underdog in this matchup. So.
Yeah. King Richard, I think, is first lieutenant or captain around there. Hidalgito a little bit lower than that, but he's doing pretty
Right.
well. King Richard, I think, has been miscalculating a little bit. You can see he's floating 2,500 food right now.
Oh.
I don't think he expected that to go the way it did, but it's
No,
clear at this
and
point he kind of needs some
shipping-
gold.
Shipping 12 pikemen as well. I want to see units lost. Oh, okay, no. King Richard made 1 skirmisher and it's still alive. But otherwise, his only other units have been pikemen and the 2 falconets. So, pretty impressive to be that committed to a strategy.
Yeah, still making pikemen actually. He's got another 5 coming out, but now queuing up the skirmishers, which I think is the right decision at this point. At this point, he could really throw down like another 2 barracks and just start going pure musket with his resource distribution.
Right.
Sending
Even,
these,
I mean, he was floating.
yeah,
Or go ahead.
Yeah, he's floating. Yeah, 2,300 food still. Hidalgito is sending these organ guns now. So if he can get a little bit of protection on that, he'll be in wonderful shape. Getting a little bit of
Yeah,
rating down.
he can contest this mid-map now. Yeah. I mean, at one point, King Richard had the 2,500 food and he had 800 coin. To be honest, at that point, I mean, his rush had kind of failed. I would have just traded if some food for gold and just aged up and then sent like back-to-back factories. I feel like that's his only way he could really get back into the game. It
Yeah.
just feels like he's playing catch-up now.
Yeah, still, he has literally 0 gold now, and not actually mining any gold. I'm a little bit curious
He
what he's going for.
loves his food. I mean, he doesn't have anything he can spend this on.
I mean, yeah, he can continue to make pikemen if he wants to.
That's true.
That's true.
But I mean, his wood is still not. Well, you know, who am I to say what is good and what is not? Looks like he does tackle the 2 organ guns.
Yeah, they weren't quite protected
that's-
enough. At that point, it might have been
No.
valuable just to move the dragoons in front and accept the loss there, because the organ guns would have done a lot of damage if they had gotten a few more shots off. But nevertheless, I mean,
Right.
you cleaned up the pikemen. There's only a few skirmishers. Another 10 pikemen are getting shipped. But I think Hidalgito is at the commanding lead.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's run away from this fight, but yeah, he's got a lot of resources, man. So he's doing pretty well. Still, King Richard is around that 2,700 food mark or so. Still moving those villagers to. Oh, is he putting them on wood now? Hopefully.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean,
see.
some of these villagers are moving somewhere.
Right. They're really going. It looks like they're going to more food, but we still have a skirmish going on up top.
I'm guessing
really-
that King Richard is just selling his food for gold. I haven't caught him doing it, but he's getting more skirmishers. He still has skirmishers in queue, so I'm guessing that's where they're coming from. Okay, yeah, he is now
Yes.
mining some gold. So we're going to
that's
see him
good.
start to move that distribution around a little bit, but I think at this point it's a little bit late. Hidalgito has this 36 villager lead and is stabilized.
Right, and he's been moving around 20 fishing boats around half the map to get to food for a little while. So once those get to harvesting, you know, his unit output is really going to skyrocket. King Richard floating a shipment for a while here. I think he still has a 5 and 4 Lancer cards to ship, which would be pretty good cards right about now. But
Oh, absolutely, yeah. A little bit of a mismicro there.
good as
I don't think it's going to matter too
Yeah,
much.
another thing I'd like to see is King Richard's Explorer just kind of chilling. He does have 2,000 food. He's had 2,000 food for the past 5 minutes. He could be pumping out war dogs like crazy, but GG has been called, and Hidalgito has taken game 1.
Very nice for Hidalgito. I just remembered that I actually had bet all in on King Richard. So I'm hoping that this doesn't go the way it's starting to go. But I should have looked at the post game.
Oh,
Sorry, I forgot to look at the post game, everybody. But we'll go into game 2 very shortly, which is going to be hosted on Fertile Crescent. So yeah, Hidalgito, a bit of the underdog in this series, going up 1-0 in the match. Unexpected result, and it bodes well for him.
yeah, well played. It always feels nice to take the first game, a little bit of pressure off. The King Richard is definitely, the ball's in his court to make a move now. I did look at the post game. The only interesting stat is that King Richard made 60 pikemen in total. So
That is a lot of fight.
pretty cool.
Going to see Fertile Crescent.
Oh, this is a betting match. It seems like I'm reading the chat.
Yeah. What I was saying
Right.
is, I bet all in on King Richard. I didn't make the mistake of going all in on him 2-0, although that seemed like it was going to be the case. I went all in on him, split across 2-0 and 2-1.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
So
It seems like that's the way most people bet.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
who?
Garia saying he bet 2-0 on King Richard. Goodspeed saying he bet on King Richard.
Yeah, this could
Really?
sway some people's bets, including mine,
Yeah.
of course. So Callan, I'm going to need some quantitative easing, I think, pretty soon. Looks like both players
I
went
can
with
only
bench.
sign up.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was just gonna commend Hidalgito for that game. He played pretty well. He had a really nice H1, and he macroed, pretty decently throughout the whole game, and
Yeah,
didn't make
yeah.
any sort of um, immediate errors, such as floating a lot of food. So, we might actually see the upset here.
Yeah, yeah, he seemed to be playing fairly well. I've only played against him once, I believe, on Quick Search once,
Mm.
and I remember I was playing Japanese against British. I remember I won, but it wasn't like extremely straightforward to win, which against most second lieutenants you kind of expect it to be straightforward.
Right.
So I think yeah, he's a little bit better than his rank would indicate. Richard can't green up, so he's going to need to rejoin.
Yeah, it seems to be a logical way to solve that.
And if that
Are those?
doesn't work, relog.
Are those? Yeah. Oh, those are L's in his name. I never noticed that till now.
Oh wait, really? They're L's?
Yeah. Yeah, they're
No.
L's. King Richard LLL.
Wow, that's even worse than King Richard III.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Didn't he? Wasn't there use? I thought that the original King Richard did have the eyes. Is this a different account?
Yeah, I get him confused with a couple different people. There's this King Onage. I know there's a King Richard of like various letters. Um, I also get him confused a little bit with I think this guy Sudden Death, who I see in Quick Search sometimes. I'm not sure why I get him confused. I think it's just because they both play Russians or something.
Oh yeah, Sudden Death is a pretty interesting player. Oh, I'm not getting anything actually when I type it in with LLLL. Well, I could have sworn that those were L's.
No, they're eyes. I checked his home cities. That's where everything defaults to lowercase, and they are eyes indeed.
It's just the same character.
Oh yeah.
Capital I and the lowercase L are.
Well,
Can't
no, they
even
look a
tell
little
them
bit
apart.
different. What is fun is to use that
barely.
0 and O. I guess
yes,
in
those
chat
are-
they look the same, but
That's ridiculous.
yeah. But
I mean,
for
you
yeah
should use
for the
this
game
font.
they actually look identical. Like your username will look identical between O and 0. So you can kind of play a few tricks with it.
Definitely can play some tricks. I think I actually read something recently, which is like if you have a license plate, which is like lowercase L and I's and stuff, like if the characters are too similar, they'll count it as the same character and like you can't have it or something.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't really know.
Do you ever
I don't know the
read the comic
nuances of that.
XKCD? Because there was
Yeah.
one about that where the guy has like a license plate of all I's and L's, and he says, "Well, yeah, the police are never going to be able to catch me because my license plate is unreadable." But then they have like the police. They cut to a scene at the police station, and they say, "Hey, this guy ran a red light. What's his license plate?" And they say, "Oh, yeah, it's the ILL guy. His address is there. So go get it."
That was pretty funny. Always relevant comic.
Oh, absolutely. Hidalgito saying his custom map button disappeared. Interesting. This is it's how ESO works. It's not ESO unless there's problems. I think my diplomacy game just unpaused. The one that we had paused for like 2 months. Goodspeed, I know you're in the chat. You gotta get on this. We gotta go beat the Russians.
What's the diplomacy game or
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, so we have 2 games of diplomacy running. One of them was with Legends, who like disappeared for 2 months, and it just got on pause because I think Ricky unpaused it. I have to move a fleet somewhere.
Oh.
Huh.
This isn't. Yeah, that's not a UN map.
Okay, he needs to relog.
Yeah, I guess if the custom map button disappears. We could also try switching hosts.
Yeah. Okay.
Host.
King Richard is going to restart the game, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. We'll run through the various troubleshooting measures.
Yep. Hidalgito's also gonna. All right.
Okay.
Yep. That's okay. We can wait.
That is okay. We can wait. That's true. Some people in the chat are bringing up some good points, wondering why King Richard is not going for Russia, which is definitely his main civ in Game 3, where it's lose or go home at this point.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too. He picked, I guess, Spanish first, and then what's the other civ? Dutch, yeah. And neither of those, I think, are civs that he plays.
Right.
I'm gonna go look him up on the
I've actually never. I don't think I've ever seen him play anything besides Russia.
Yeah, his elo right now is 95% Russian, 4% Ottomans, with 3,500 games. If you check his elo stats, yeah, you just see Russians all the time.
He's played 3,500 games. Is that right?
Yeah, 3,500. A little bit more than 3,500 actually.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's getting close to Piroshiku levels.
Yeah, Piroshiku is. Wow, what a character.
Yeah.
What a legend.
Very interesting guy, yeah. Played against. I've started to get better against him. I've been able to start beating him more consistently. I think the first 3 or 4 times he played me, I just would lose all the time. Anyway, both players can green up, so you're free to do so as well.
Oh, I thought I was in slot 3 like before. My bad.
No, they reversed the order. All right, so we're going into Game 2 between Hidalgito and King Richard III. Now happening on Fertile Crescent, and both players are playing Dutch. We were remarking earlier that this is interesting because King Richard is known for his Russians, not his Spanish or his Dutch, and yet he has not played Russians in this match.
All right, so we do King Richard in the red, in the northwest of the map, playing Dutch, and in the same civilization, Hidalgito in the color blue in the southeast. And this is a new version of Fertile Crescent, I believe. And so the first thing I want to do is kind of check hunts. And everything looks to be pretty standard.
Yep. Yeah, Gario was remarking about the hunts on this map. It looks like we
had a big long thread about it.
Yeah, I didn't read all of the thread, but it looks like both players have 2 hunts, which is even, and therefore, or both players have 2 hunts and the hunt and base, I think. Which is even. So I think we're good to not redo a restart.
Right. I mean, this one is quite a bit farther away than this one is to the blue TC. But
so yes and no. Yes, it is a little bit farther, but there's this big trading post in the way.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
This Sufi mosque. Yeah, it's definitely actually pretty much the same. So very much so. Yeah, it's a very even map.
So, I guess the Dutch mirror is going to be going pretty heavy on all of the FFs and banks. I think both players are going to go for like some sort of Hussar semi, and then play most of the game in H3. That's my plan at least, or that's the plan at least, I think. But we saw King Richard do something a little bit non-standard last game, so he might be doing something again.
Yeah,
we don't expect.
Maybe he'll do something again. He does have 300 wood in his deck, which is a really interesting card.
Oh yeah,
I don't think he's going to send, but
he's been picking his decks pretty quickly.
Just like there.
I guess both players picked their decks early.
There is, yeah, pretty early. This is probably the most important treasure on the map right now. It's the only wood one remaining, and it's 90 wood, which is going to be a huge boost for whoever picks that up. They're going to be able to get their bank up and transition, 10 seconds sooner or something like that. So.
Oh yeah, easily. It looks like King Richard was the one who signed it. Yeah, Hidalgito on the other hand, getting a little bit of compensation. He's going to get this 50 coin treasure, and then he's going to probably come down and find these lions for 100 food.
Easily, and he picked up 50 wood earlier, so this 90 wood treasure is not going to be a huge swing at all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
It looks like age ones are being split pretty evenly between the players.
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, I think Hidalgito is going to get the better end again then. If he's going to get 50 wood, so 50 coin, and 90
and
food.
100 food.
Yeah, or 100 food, yeah.
50 coin.
That's
a nice little pickup.
Yeah. I'd say, well, actually, King Richard was aging up very early. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's going to be like a 3-minute, 50-second age up. He's going 13 villagers, yeah. Hidalgito is just going to click up right now, as soon as his villager completes, I guess. He has to do it.
What's the purpose of that? Does he just want to age up sooner?
I'm not sure. He's gathering a little bit of wood right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a pike rush. I mean, we saw effectively a pike rush, the Spanish version of one, last game. I wouldn't be surprised to see another one.
Yeah, and it's right up his alley of play too. I mean, this envoy is in the right location. I mean, once he ages up, I'd really like to see Hidalgito scout and figure out what the heck is going on, because this is, well, and I think he's just going to build a bank. Like, perhaps he just wants his 700 wood faster.
Yeah, I mean, that could be the case. Okay, so he's going to go for a bank. That's fine.
But he's still chopping. Oh, no, now he brings him off.
Okay. Okay, so I guess nothing crazy going on.
I wonder how much he idled for that.
Yeah, I mean, he's edging up 2 villagers behind, right? So there's 90 seconds, 180 villager seconds, I guess.
It doesn't seem ideal.
Yeah.
Hidalgito is getting his bank down quite a bit later, though.
Yeah, it's probably going to work out just a little bit in Hidalgito's favor. It's probably not going to be like this huge swing that decides the game, but if anything, if I were Hidalgito right now, I'd be really concerned. I mean, I'm just aging up now, 15, 20 seconds behind my opponent. I'm expecting like pikes are going to be streaming into my base at any moment now, and that's just not going to be happening.
And we see an early stable. Usually it's more typical in Dutch matchups, and especially in the mirror, I believe, to delay the stable until you get 700 wood and just make another bank with the 400 age up.
Mm-hmm.
But this stable's going down right away with the 200 wood, so it's possible he can get some nice pressure out on Hidalgito unless he responds to this properly.
Yeah, that's true. We do see, I guess, 1 Hussar in queue, maybe a couple more. I don't think he's going to be able to get the full 5 batch out. Not yet, anyway. So there's going to be a little bit of pressure coming in, but I think that Hidalgito is in pretty good shape. He's getting a second bank up, and that predates King Richard's bank, the second bank, that is.
Right.
He doesn't have
King Richard is pop.
Oh yeah, that also. I mean, he has enough wood to, do something about that. So all he has to do is hit that house button.
Hit that house button.
Yeah.
It only gets 2 out. This is really disappointing. This could have been at least a 4 Hussar batch.
That's true. Yeah.
Now he's hitting that house button.
Yeah, he hit that house button 3 times. I mean, it's common, right? When I do this all the time when I get popped, especially in StarCraft, I'll just make like 20 pylons just to not deal with it again. I think that a similar thing happened here. He is going to go for another bank, but I think
it's not. He shift clicked off.
I think so. Yeah. It's always annoying.
That's rough. However, there's no military building out, but he doesn't need a military building out. He can just melee these Hussars, and he should, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
true. Melee him.
No, I think even so he's fine. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter that much. The Hussars there's not enough of them to do like real lasting damage. And yeah, he's going to make a 4th bank, and he's certainly able to do so.
I almost want to tell King Richard to build his bank.
Yeah.
I mean, he's down 3 banks.
Oh no. Okay, yeah, he saw it. Yeah.
That's got to be a little demoralizing.
Yeah, he's getting another. He shipped in 600 wood. Sorry. So I think he's going to be able to get bank 3 and 4 pretty soon. Hidalgito made an interesting decision. He shipped Colonial Militia. We saw that last game, and last game it
Yeah,
made sense. This time, you
uh,
know,
definitely a bit of an overreaction here.
yeah,
There's
it's a little
nothing
bit
that
much.
warrants Colonial Militia from what he's scouted. I mean, he scouted just a single stable, right?
Yeah,
So, um, I mean,
not even
I
a
don't know.
single
I
stapler.
guess
It's
he
a
really
single
likes that
stapler that
card.
made 2 hussars. Just not a very big threat.
Right.
I mean, nonetheless, he is going to probably be able to age up a little bit soon. Well, he maybe will be able to age up sooner. He is going to have to deal with his own housing problem now. He made that market to be able to trade in some gold in for wood.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting build. He's only got the 4 banks right now. I feel like, I mean, imagine if this was 600 wood, right, instead of Colonial Militia. That could
Yeah.
be a 5th bank, as well as wood for population. So, and now he's shipping 700 food. So a bit of a perhaps not the most efficient build order.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
little bit wonky, right? The Colonial Militia, the
yeah,
700 food, neither of them are really the cards you want to be sending. Colonial Militia, I think, was a response to the Hussars. 700 food was a response to not being quite macro to age up. But I think at this point,
right.
right,
And
he has almost enough food, or almost
right.
enough coin.
And now he should be good to age up. So he'll be up slightly sooner beside or before King Richard. However, Richard is now he shipped the bank wagon, so he's getting his 4th bank now. Um, and he's I like his shipment progression a little better. And if we look at text completed, actually only Hidalgito has any market upgrades, which is just hunting dogs.
Yeah.
So going into the Fortress Age, I don't really know who to give the edge to.
Yeah, both players kind of
Um,
had something that was just not quite there. King Richard with a little bit of problems with the housing and with Hussars. Hidalgito with a little bit of an unusual build. They kind of canceled each other out, and they're going into Age 4 pretty much in the same place, right? They have about as many villagers as each other. Even that 13
right.
villager age up from King Richard is kind of like gone away. They have the same villager population now. Both players have relatively
Right.
the same infrastructure, basically a barracks for. Well, yeah, King Richard has the barracks over Hidalgito. But even that's not that
Yeah,
hard to
and,
get
and
back
I'm
up.
I'm curious to see which shipments both players send first. If I'm Hidalgito, I'm definitely sending 1K wood, in my opinion, just because you're up sooner.
Yep.
It'll give you a lot more. Um, I mean, you don't have to chop wood, which is one of the most inefficient resources to gather. So I'd like to see that coming from him first. If interesting enough, if you look at King Richard's deck, he doesn't have his Age 3 all the way filled out. He's missing, maybe one of 4 Hussar shipment in there, or something along those lines.
Yeah, very very light age 3, basically. He's got these the Bank of Amsterdam, Bank of Rotterdam, which I'm not so sure about the value of those cards. I actually don't play Dutch enough to know if they're valuable. But then the 300 wood, the Colonial Militia, neither of them really do much in this matchup.
Right. Along with the 700 food and 1,000 food. Those are both sort of perhaps cards that you could consider omitting. Although I
Right.
believe 1,000 food might be kind of situational,
Hmm.
especially on a map kind of like Fertile Crescent.
Yeah, I know the original 3 bank FF by Mr. Milo back like 2006, 2007 was a 700 wood, 700 food build.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, that's been kind of outdated in the modern style of play. Nobody really sends 700 food if they can get away with it ever. Yeah, a little bit of an
Right.
engagement here in the middle. King Richard had the barracks up sooner, so he's going to be a little bit ahead in the infrastructure. Or sorry, he's going to be a little bit ahead in army for now. But the response.
Yeah, and
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh well, yeah. The response was that Hidalgito sent out the 8 skirmishers and now has 2 barracks up. I don't think that we've seen a second barracks from King Richard, so I think Hidalgito is going to be pulling up a little bit ahead in the skirmishers now. He's splitting a lot
I
of
think so
food.
too. Something important to note, though, is that King Richard did get his 5th bank up at least sometime in early Fortress or Transition. So he's currently up a bank to Hidalgito, and that translates to about a 6 villager lead in the recalculated economic population. So actually,
That's
it
true, yeah.
looks like King Richard is maybe in a good spot here. He's got a little less infrastructure. He's shipping units instead of maybe perhaps 1K wood like he needs. But I think I think as the game goes longer, he'll pull into more of a lead, and even drop down to trading post.
Yeah. The trading post has actually been helping him out a little bit. I think he's now one shipment ahead in the progression. Um, these two barracks to King Richard's one. If King Richard doesn't realize what's going on, it doesn't drop down his own barrack to Hidalgito is going to be able to pull ahead. Because, of course, in Dutch versus Dutch, right, you don't need to make reiters unless somebody makes hussars. And if nobody makes hussars, then you just keep making skirmishers. So whoever has more skirmishers is
Right, I
going to
mean, I'd like to see a huss switch, though, from Hidalgito. I mean, to ship 4, train 5, and get that veterancy upgrade.
Right, yeah.
I mean, he's still not making any more Reuters. He only has 5 Reuters on the field.
Yeah, I mean, neither player's making Reuters. They only made those initial 5, maybe like 1 or 2
Yeah.
more. I think, King Richard is coming out a little bit ahead in this fight. He got his Reuters to the front earlier, and that's been moving a lot of these skirmishers into melee. The skirmishers also were split up, but kept them all from firing at once. So I think, it's not actually looking too good for Hidalgito right now.
No, actually, these are really nice trades for King Richard. Since he's up in the skirmisher mess, he's just winning all these battles, kind of a bit more efficiently. And both players have been stacking a shipment for a while now, actually. I'd like to see those in play here pretty soon.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no anti-cab for either player on the field. I guess there are a little bit of Reuters here, but...
yeah, a very small number of Reuters. Yeah, Hidalgito has now shipped, or actually made 4 Hussar, and he just noticed his shipment stacked up, so he sent, but I'm guessing there's going to be another 4 Hussar.
So I think so too. We'll see if he chooses to engage now. This engage could actually be good, even though there's only 4. And they are upgraded. Normally you wouldn't like to see this, but it's going to work.
Yeah, actually, very good timing from him. He's definitely going to be able to get a lot of skirmishers. And there's just no Reuters out right now, and I don't think there's any easy way to make another quickly. If we look at what's in queue, King Richard doesn't even have Reuters in queue, so this is going to be doing a lot of damage.
Definitely. And if we get, King Richard's shipping infantry combat, which is not the card he really wants to send right now. Still, though, okay, he's forced to retreat here. However, he can pick off several villagers if he chooses to.
Yeah, he gets one there. There's another one that's really low.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, there's one more.
Yeah.
All right, now get out of there.
Yeah, and then another 4 Hussars coming in. These were shipped, actually, but nonetheless will be enough. And another 5 Hussars actually in queue. And King Richard still has not made a Raider in a while. I don't know if he even has the 9 Raider. Well, I think he has 9 Raiders.
Is he trying to cheese? I don't know.
Yeah,
he should really call Minutemen right now, I think, to try and save his skirmishers.
Yeah, another 5 Hussars coming in. The 4 Hussars are going to be probably doing enough. And these villages are actually very exposed. So even if King Richard is able to pull back, stabilize off this, he's going to lose a lot of villagers.
And this game went from pretty well into King Richard's favor to just, now he's on the back foot. And he does ship 9 Reuters.
And 5
more being trained.
So,
which is actually exactly what he needs. But I don't know if there are enough. Well, and 5 scrims coming in. His reinforcements are coming in a lot sooner than Hidalgito's. And it looks like he's going to be able to take this fight. Although perhaps not the best trade that he wants.
Yeah, it's coming out pretty even. I think both players, King Richard was able to pull it back with the 5 Reuters and 9 shipped, and so he does have the skirmisher lead, but there's still actually a lot of skirmishers out for Hidalgito. He still has, he's not getting these full batches that he's probably looking for. He got only 1 Hussar and 2 skirmishers out in the last batch, but he did get a couple villagers down, so they're still even economically. And the Reuters are going to get cleaned up. Well, maybe not.
Yeah. The 1 Hussar will not do too much. It'd be really nice if he could focus on Hussar on the low HP ones. That's kind of a lot to ask, though. And, okay, so, Richard stabilized, and he's actually kind of taking this fight. And like you said, the economies are pretty even, the militaries are pretty even, so it's kind of anyone's game right now. Although, Hidalgito is still down a bank, so if he chooses to build that, he's going to be up in economy. As well, he's had these idle Reuters. For the past several minutes. Those have been sitting there.
I did notice during that last fight that King Richard was a little bit distracted. He didn't have villagers gathering food for a while. So I think it's taking a toll on the player's ability to multitask right now, and for both players. He's got these 9 raiders, these 5 other villagers. Hidalgito, meanwhile, he got the 5 Hussar pop, but didn't have quite enough skirmisher support where he would be able to take the fight or the game again. The 5 raiders in this case were enough. So I think, yeah, both players are pulling
and
back
here's
a bit.
just yeah, and here's another little tip I'd like um, tidbit I bring up for people watching. You notice both players have their explorers not in the fight, and they're both at full hit point. I mean, these are like 600 hit point units. It's not. I mean, that can swing a battle for sure. Like it can tank a couple volleys from an entire skirmisher match. So it's always kind of, if you're not using your explorer to like build a TP or a trading post, I always like to have it in my army.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think both players kind of just found out about their explorers when they started shooting each other.
Yeah.
Hidalgito, actually, he's not doing anything with his explorer, and I think he really should.
Right.
Yeah. King Richard is
I mean, it's something that I used to not always do, but I've just gotten in the habit of putting my explorer in the same control group as my ranged infantry. It's really nice to have.
Yeah. We do have to note that King Richard is actually floating a lot of resources once again. He's got 2,700 food, a lot of wood too.
Yep.
And he's actually close to being housed, or he is housed. Hidalgito, a little bit better with this, but yeah, he's actually having a lot of units coming in. Oh,
there's an artillery foundry on the field.
Yeah, I mean, that's one
which
way.
I do not think is the way to go.
Yeah, but if you're looking for a unit that costs a lot of resources and you need to spend all of them at once, Falcon is the best way of doing it. I'm a fan of...
Ooh, a nice reinforcing batch at 10 skirms.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And, you know, this could be a pretty favorable engagement if... I mean, Hidalgito needs to keep bringing his skirms up into the field so they can...
Yeah, you know, it's close. I think Hidalgito has a slightly larger skirmisher mass, but we have to remember... Actually, it's getting quite a bit larger now. We do have to remember Hidalgito's skirms are a little bit worse because he hasn't done the skirmisher combat, but I think it might not be...
That's true.
It might not matter in this case. Well, it's getting close. Oh, another 5 hussars coming in.
More hussars coming. Yeah. I'd like to see veterancy upgrade on these guys. He's made a lot of them, and I think it would have paid off by now.
Yeah, with the hussar number coming out as much as it was, a veteran upgrade would have been very useful here. I think, yeah, Hidalgito is going to be pulling a little bit ahead in the fight. We do have to note that his score is behind, but if you account for the, what is it, like 3,000 food, that's about 30 points of King Richard that are not really going to use. So in some sense, Hidalgito is ahead.
That's true, and the name of the game right now is map control. I mean, look at all these exposed villagers everywhere on the map. If someone can win a fight decisively in the middle, or perhaps spare a little APM and try to get a little raid going, that could really be beneficial.
Definitely. Yeah, we got 4 falconets coming out in just a minute. And actually, Hidalgito doesn't really have any anti-cav right now. He only has these raiders, which are dead. So this could surprise him a little bit. I mean, he's making the good decision of not going like right up into that artillery boundary.
This could be devastating. Oh, he notices though, and he runs away, and the Falcons are not able to get a shot off. And King Richard is stacking 2 shipments here now, which could be useful to send.
Getting the 4 hussars and the veteran upgrade, I'm really happy about that. I think he might actually be able to do it. There's not enough raiders out. He's going to be able to get at least 1 or 2 falcons.
Bring the skirms back. Oh, it's going to be... I mean, those falcons will still do a lot of damage to the SR, but I think they'll pick off 2.
Yeah, I mean, 2 is definitely a good trade.
That is good.
And then we're going to get another hussar pop.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
God, look at all these resources sitting under his town center.
Oh, yeah.
1,000 wood and 1,000 coin, just idle.
Yeah, Hidalgito is a little bit mismacro too. You can see he's got 1,400 gold being floated, which is definitely preferable to being floating 3,000 food. You can do so much more with
and like
gold, but...
I think he cut out a bit. I don't know if you heard me say it. He's got the 1,000 coin and 1,000 wood that have been idle under space for a while. So King Richard is still popped at 80 pop. That's the same he was at when he was popped 700 wood ago. I guess he put all that into the falconets.
He was making 1 house and wondering what he spent that wood on.
Yeah, this outpost is going to come super in handy. Although there are too many villagers here to put in it. Oh, and he runs away.
Oh, no.
Oh, why? Why'd you run away?
Oh, we have to be a little bit careful here. Yeah.
Alright, we got a scrappy game here.
Yeah, the Hussars are just not going to get there in time.
It's not going to be enough.
Very close to getting the pick.
It's not going to be enough.
You've got another 3 Hussars coming in, I think. No, okay, yeah, he's just going for it. That's okay. That's okay. He's going to get
the one.
Yeah.
I mean, economy is now going in favor of Richard, who's stacking almost another 2 resources. Cab combat comes into play, which is a nice card at this point in the game. Those Raiders are going to do much better versus these Hussars. And it looks like, I mean, look at all these idle villagers. It looks like Hidalgito is kind of on the back foot.
Yeah, it looks like he's kind of, you know, not he has the resources, he has you know, the infrastructure to be able to kind of pull back into this game, but I think there's just so much pressure coming in at him and so many different angles that he just doesn't have enough time to like pull it together and like just, you know, do what he needs to do, which is basically killing this falconet, killing some of these raiders off.
Oh, right. Oh, he calls it the large CM, so he's going to kill this other falconet as well.
Yeah, that actually is going to work. I mean, look at what those skirmishers were doing. They were running right in there.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, not a terrible trade for him. He's definitely going to stabilize. Both players are stacking shipments. We're running out of food at mid-map. We're approaching late game here. King Richard is stacking 4,500 food, so once he figures out how to spend his resources, I'm going to, you know, I think he's sitting in a nice spot.
Yeah, that's a lot of food.
This is, you know, so much food, like what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. An exorbitant amount of food.
Exorbitant? I think that's the word.
No,
it's a lot of food. That's the point.
Well, he should just sell it and go for. I mean, seriously, ship your 2 factories. I mean, he had like 2 shipments stacked up. If you sell your food 4 minutes ago, go for, you got 8 more villagers on the, or 16 more villagers on the field. You know?
That's true. Yeah.
So, but I mean, he's still sitting in a nice spot. So,
yeah. I mean,
however,
he
doesn't have the military.
Yeah. He lost a lot of units in that last engagement with the Minutemen. I think that Hidalgito is actually going to be able to take this fight, and Richard, you know, he really needs to start spending some of these resources. He only has still 1 stable and 1 barracks, and I think that's really contributing to his lack of ability to spend things.
Definitely.
If you lay down, you know, another 3 barracks right now.
I mean, he could go forward now if he wants, and he ships 1,000 food because he wants a little more. He's hungry. He's a hungry boy.
Shipping refrigeration too, I guess. Really. Sorry, Richard. He really likes that food.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to be doing pretty well. I mean, I think there's just too many skirmishers to be able to make that Raider melee mode work.
Yeah,
but nonetheless,
he's doing okay. Some villagers.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the villager lead still, so it's not so bad.
Right. We got some more coming in, a little villager flank. Does he feel like he can't lose, or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure.
I mean, more reinforcements. I mean, he's just not doing anything with his resources.
That's
I'm kind of.
It was okay to lose like 2 or 3 villagers, but that extra set of villagers losses is not so good for him.
Now Hidalgito has the lead.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big villager, a big skirmisher pop that kind of pulled Hidalgito squarely into the military lead right now. Okay. And even though he's down in score, right? He's got to take 50 points off of King Richard's score right now.
Yeah, Falconets are about to pop. I was just gonna say
that
could have been 5 fouls.
They're gonna
do well anyways. But I mean, it could have been 2 more fouls, and all these skirmishers could be dead now.
Yeah.
But he's not going to get that. Oh, he does. Okay, so that's actually a decent trade for him. He's going to get all 3. Or surely not.
It's going to be close, I think.
No,
he's not going to get
it. He will. He's going to get it. He's going to get it.
Oh, wow.
I think Hidalgito's going to win this game.
I think so, too.
He's stacking 5,000 food. Look at this raid. No,
wow.
Surely not. This can't. Is this happening? What an insane game. Surely all King Richard has to do is sell 3,000 food and he can put out an army that that can take back the map.
Yeah, you just
But
gotta hit that button, man.
hit that saw, hit that trade. I mean, he needs like
Yeah.
some free
Wait.
trade
Okay.
talk.
I saw he had 200 wood at one point, but spent 100 wood on. Oh, he spent it on falconets. Okay. He's just gotta like another barracks would be perfect right now for him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think
I'm
King
not quite
Richard's
sure.
yeah. King Richard's losing a lot of
I
villagers now.
I think Hidalgito's gonna win.
Yeah.
He's just macroing that. He's spending his resources. That's all it's coming down to. And so he's always ahead in military fight, which means he's been able to take the map and he's been able to kill villagers and regain the resource or the economic lead. And now he can kill these two falconets.
Oh yeah, I mean they're gonna do some damage, but yeah, there's so many warriors out right now, it's not gonna matter. And Hidalgito's gonna just
I
keep
mean,
killing these
Richard's
villagers.
just taking terrible military trades. And I think our boy has done it. That's
Yeah.
GG.
Wow.
Wow indeed.
Yeah, well played to Hidalgito indeed.
Yes, well played. Good series. That was fun to watch.
Yeah,
Fun to
very
cast.
very interesting series.
Oh, look at the post game now.
Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Wow, the resources were actually neck and neck the whole game, but
Yeah. But,
Hidalgito is just spending them.
yeah, pretty even on resources. I mean they had the same number of banked villager parity for a while. Military unit population kind of shows that there's a lot of back and forth, right? A lot of different moments
Yeah.
at which one player had a major advantage. But just towards the end,
Very
Hidalgito was
close
able to
game.
spend his resources. It came really close for a couple times, but
It did. But well played to Hidalgito. I think maybe a little bit of an upset. We never quite saw Russia from King Richard.
yeah. Again, that's a surprising thing not to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, do you know what the next series is?
Yeah, it's Kick-Ass versus his opponent. That's going to be happening at